Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm John, welcome to my channel. So if you don't already know about the new line of electric mini bikes for kids, electric motocross racing bikes by KTM, Husqvarna, and Gas, then that's what I'm talking about. It's right behind me here. This is the new, or somewhat new, Husqvarna EE5. This is the same bike as the KTM SX E5 and the Gas, whatever that is. I don't know. It just kind of came out, so I'm not sure of the model number of it. But essentially what we have here is the electric version of the Fast 50s. So when kids grow out of a Pee Wee 50, their next step up bike is going to be KTM SX 50 or the Husqvarna TC 50 or now the Gas. And these are two-stroke 50cc automatic clutch race bikes, essentially. So when the kids get faster and they start trying to clear jumps, or they start really learning about how to go fast on a motocross bike, this is kind of what the frame size and the chassis that they bump up to. So the thing for me was Rennen is on the Pee Wee 50 and he's 6 years old. So he's probably coming up on 6.5 years old here soon in a couple months. And he's a big 6-year-old. He's 50 plus pounds and he's 4 foot tall right now. So he already looks kind of big on the Pee Wee. And I've had to do some little trick things to the Pee Wee to kind of try to make it a little bit faster and raise the handlebars up, and just kind of started tweaking on it to suit him a little better for how fast and how hard he was riding it. So I was going to wait until he was ready to jump up to the next bike, but I came across a good deal on a Cobra Junior, actually a Cobra Junior. It's a 50cc race bike along the same lines as the KTMs and Husqvarnas, but it's a super fast, really high strung, big suspension race bike, and it's just so maintenance intensive that looking at the owner's manual for it, you're going to learn that you have to clean the air filter basically after every ride. You have to drain the gearbox oil and refill it with, the clutch fluid basically. There's a special clutch fluid for the Cobra. You have to drain and refill every 2 hours if you want to preserve the clutch, because it's a centrifugal type clutch with shoes. And there's a special drive in there that absorbs the shock of the wheel spinning. That has to be adjusted every 2 hours. So essentially, it has an equivalent amount of maintenance time to ride time. And I had the Cobra Junior waiting for Rennen when he was ready. He knew how to ride it, and he's ridden it before. But I explained to him that it was a full-blown race bike, and it was pretty much only going to be able to be used at the track. So our practice track in the backyard and practice track at our neighbors, it's going to be hard to use a Cobra there because it's loud, it's really fast, you have to keep it moving, you want to keep air flowing through the radiators, you don't want to stop and let it get hot, and just a plethora of little intricacies and things to know and just things to avoid. It's just jumping into a full-blown race bike. It's like having a Formula One car for your first car. There's a lot to learn, and it's a lot of maintenance. So the way I saw it is, it was going to be hard to teach Rennen the right way, to train him, to stop him, and explain to him feet positioning and cornering and just the basics, while he had a two-stroke that was there being temperamental, and we had to rev it up. It was just going to be hard for him to focus. So I had my eye on this electric bike for a long time. It's been out for maybe a year or so, and it's very, very expensive. So that's the problem. That's what held me back, really. It was a lot of money to invest in something that I wasn't sure my son was going to go do seriously. So we kind of tested the water with the Cobra. He never really had the urge to go race it seriously, and it sat here and just I kept it, and basically asked him if we wanted to sell it and then move to a different bike, and he's like, yeah, you can do that. So I know he wasn't in love with it. He wasn't married to that bike. But the last time I took him out to the track, which was just a couple weeks ago, he absolutely tore up the track on the Pee-wee. I mean, he was flying. He was racing with kids on 110s and Chinese pit bikes, and he was just having a really good time. And he came back to me and he said, Dad, my Pee-wee's just not fast enough anymore. I can't clear the jumps. I want to jump it. It just doesn't do it right. It bottoms out. Basically, he found everything wrong with the bike, gave me the feedback that he's never given me before, essentially telling me, like, I'm ready to move up to a new bike. I'm ready to go fast. I'm ready to jump high. And he even said, I want trophies. So to me, that was the push I needed to feel good about making the investment to the next step up bike. So we kind of already knew the Cobra wasn't going to be that bike, mostly because I didn't want to have to do all that maintenance. So I gave the EE another look because he loves Husqvarna too. I don't know why, but he's always loved the Husqvarna the best. If we're at the toy store and he sees the Husqvarna, he wants it. If we're at the toy store and they don't have the Husqvarna, he wants to wait for the Husqvarna. I don't know. I think it's a beautiful bike as well, but it's just one that he's always liked. So I had my eye on this, and like I said, when we were at the track, and he was exclaiming to me how he was ready for the next step up, then I had a good solid feeling, a nice warm fuzzy that my investment was going to be used at least. So basically the next weekend I went down to our friends at Central Florida Power Sports, where I bought the Monkey and the Trail 125, and I had a quote on this bike already from when I bought the Trail, because I was so close to pulling the trigger on it back then, but I held myself and said, no, let me wait on that. And they honored that quote, and I was able to pick this bike up for a good price right now when inflation is out of control and dealers are charging MSRP or even more and getting away with it. I was able to pick this bike up for $5,800 out the door. So this is a part where you probably just jumped in your seat and said, that's insane. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And I'm going to explain to you why that investment is worth it.